Hello Steelers, and welcome to this next scenario of the base game of Undaunted Normandy. This is Race Across the Canal. Sorry, no, it's called Raid Across the Canal. I should have checked that before I started. This is Germans attacking across the canal as a counter-attack against the Americans. This is scenario 3 of the base game. I'm going to be playing it solo, as I have done recently with the other games. So basically what you do there is you draw 3 cards for each hand for each player, and then also just draw an extra card, and that is the initiative card for both players. Whoever gets the highest gets the initiative. It's that simple. I've talked about it in the previous games of Undaunted that I played, so I'm not going to go too much into it here. You'll see how it works as the game goes on. So that's enough chatter from me. I'm just going to jump over that side of the table and we'll get this game started. I'll show you the map and we'll play the game. Okay, so this is our map for this one. This is the, as I said, this is the raid across the canal. Let's have a little read of it. It says the assault on Vitre-au-Vent Canal. Vitre-au-Vent Canal, 16th of June 1944. On the 16th of June, the 30th Infantry Division finished clearing the area north of the Vitre-au-Vent Canal. That night they dug in along the gentle slope leading down to the bare and watery no man's land along the canal. The Germans mounted a counter-attack that evening, making a raid across the canal. It was driven back by massed infantry fire. So we have to get 6 objective points for both sides to win. The Germans are starting with the initiative in the first place, and you can see here the Germans are started down in this bottom corner. The Americans are up here. The Americans have already got a victory marker up here, which is 2. There's one here that's worth 2, and there's also one over here that's worth 2, and then also there's also 3 across here. I do apologise, the cat is going mad. And then also over here there's another one worth 3. The Germans don't have control of any. We've only got a couple of scouting markers out at the moment as well. What you will notice in here is we also have scouts on the table and riflemen for both sides. We also have machine gunners in their supply, so they've got access to machine gunners. They're not on the table at the moment, but they may well come out at some point, I'm fairly sure. But let's have a look at the deck that we've got as well. So the Americans and Germans in this case are exactly the same. I did say there is some differences in some of these scenarios, but in this one they're the same. So we've got a scout, a squad leader from a scout from B, a squad leader from A rifleman from B, a platoon sergeant, a scout from A, a rifleman from A, and then 2 fog of war cards and also a squad leader from B. So it's quite a small deck to start with for both sides. Obviously we all wanted to be adding to this when as the game goes on. So first things first is I am playing as I have actually played this scenario once before, just to give me an idea of how it actually works, and it was tough for both sides. It was a German win, but only because both sides had lost all of their riflemen, and they just won because they just got just a couple more points than the Americans had at the end of the game, and that was the decider really. So let's just have a look at what we've got anyway. So we draw our 3 cards for both sides, so 1, 2 and 3, and then our initiative card for the Germans is a 6, is a scout, so 1, 2, 3 cards. Then the American initiative is a scout as well. So the Germans start because they already have the initiative as part of the scenario. So let's have a look at their 3 cards. What have we got? We've got a scout, squad leader, and another squad leader as well. So that's 2 squad leaders and our scout. Okay, right, first of all, it's Scout B. So what I want to do is I want to come up here, try and get that 3.3. So I'm going to take him up there for 2 moves. So that gives them a fog of war card straight away, and that's their scout done. And then I could use the squad leader to inspire the scout and to move again. Yes, I think I'm going to actually. So I'm going to get him to go 1, 2 across here this time. Taking another fog of war card. The reason I'm doing this is so the rifleman can spread out and start taking those points. So that was rifleman B, squad leader B. Squad leader A, on the other hand, is going to bolster with a rifleman and also a machine gunner. I'm going to put those in because I want to get those machine guns on the table if I can. Right, that's the Germans' move. So over to the Americans. Well, they got squad leader, a rifleman, and fog of war. We'll put the fog of war away because they can't get rid of that. But we've got a rifleman and a squad leader now. We've got rifleman A, squad leader A. So we could get them to move and fire. They can't move much further than this, but at least if they can start taking out the scouts, the German scouts, that might be a useful thing to do, or even just firing down at the German riflemen. Just pushing them forward a bit, I think. A lot of this is quite open area, so it might be worthwhile having a go for. Well, let's move them forward. Move one, and then I think I am going to attack. No, I tell you what, I'm just going to move him forward, and then I'm going to use the squad leader to bolster. In fact, so again we can try and get those machine gunners out. So a rifleman and a machine gunner is going to go into the pack there. So that ends the first turn, nice and simple. So we go on to the next one. 1, 2, 3 for the Americans. Their initiative is a 5 for their rifleman. The Germans, on the other hand, have got 1, 2, 3. Their initiative is 9 for their platoon sergeant. So they retain the initiative. Okay, let's see what they've got. Their cards: 2 fog of war and a rifleman. They can do very little with that, so they're going to get rid of those 2 fog of war cards. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to let's bring this rifleman forward, and then he can at least try to control over here, and I can send the other one over there to get 3. I think that's what I'm going to do, and then at least he's also defending this area as well against from those Americans as they're pushing in. So let's just have a look, see what the Americans have got. They've got a scout, squad leader and fog of war. I don't want the fog of war to build up, but I do need them to get moving forward. So I'm actually going to move forward this scout 1, 2, like that. So that will then pick up 2 fogs of war cards, but it also gives me access at least to that 2 level there, so I can move the rifleman and maybe snatch that. That's him used up. However, I've got the squad leader, so I could use him to inspire the scout, and for this one I'm going to actually get them to recon and get rid of that fog of war. So I'm going to put that up there, so then they draw a new card, which is platoon sergeant, which is pretty good. So he's actually going to play command. So he's going to draw 2 new cards. We'll have to shuffle the American deck. Let's just get those up and then get those out, I think. Let's have a look. First one up is Scout, second one up, Scout A, Squad Leader B. Right, so he's done. Squad Leader B can't inspire the Scout, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use him to bolster their pack with a rifleman and a machine gunner, again to try and get those machine guns out if we can. Then we've got Scout A as well over here, so that's this guy here. I want to be moving him 1, 2. I know this is going to take up a lot of fog of war cards, but I want to get them over onto these points. I can get rid of the fog of war cards later on, and I want to try to get further forward at this point. So that was the Americans' turn. So we're on to the next turn. Just give the German deck a shuffle because they've only got 1 card left there. Let's just see what they pull out for their cards. So we've got 1, 2 and 3. Their initiative is 9 for their platoon sergeant, 1, 2, 3 for the Americans, and initiative is 1 for the fog of war. So Germans again, they take the lead, and their cards are Scouts, Machine Gun and Rifleman. So that's pretty good. We wanted that Rifleman, we said we wanted him to get up to here somewhere, so I'm going to just move him forward to there. So that's all he's doing. Then we've got Scout A, who is over here. I don't want the Americans to be capturing these points, I want them myself. So I'm going to go 1 and 2. He's going to draw in a fog of war card, put that Scout, but it means that the Americans can't control that area just for now, while I've got somebody in there. Then we've got machine gunner, so because he's not on the table, we're going to put the machine gunner on, and that ends their turn. So we're trying to bring some of these units on here. So here we go with the Americans. We've got Squad Leader A and 2 guys from B. So Squad Leader A can't do anything with these guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bolster with him. So taking a machine gunner and a rifleman, put those in, and that's him done. Then we've got Scout B and Rifleman B as well. Okay, well, I've got Rifleman A who was going to come down here and help, so I think I'm going to push Rifleman B over here instead to go and try and grab that 2 level flag over there. And then B Scout, I think, is going to fire at the German Scout over here. Or should we conceal, in fact? I can't recon because I haven't got a Fog of War card in my hand, but I can block up the Germans with a Fog of War card there. I think that's probably best for now. Okay, now next turn, the Americans have got 3 cards and they have initiative of 5. We've got 1, 2, 3 German cards with an initiative of 6. So the Germans are retaining the initiative all the way through this so far. This is similar to what happened in the game I played previously. Well, spoke too soon. There you go, 2 Fog of War cards. Get rid of those, can't do anything with them. But we've got Rifleman A here, so he's actually going to control this area. I'm going to start taking control of these areas because it's then going to be harder for the Americans to get them back into control anyway. So that's all he's doing there. So we'll have a look at the Americans, what we got. Oh, 2 Fog of War cards for them as well, so that's them done. Then we've got Machine Gunner A. He's not on the table yet, so I'm just going to bring him on with his card. So that's one of the things you can do. I didn't explain that, but you, if you haven't got a unit on the card on the table and you play their card, you can just bring them onto the table. So if your rifleman is being taken off for whatever reason, and you play one of his cards, instead of doing anything with it, you just bring the token back on. So that's what I'm doing with the machine gunners here. So that's the 3 cards for the Americans, and their initiative being 7. Germans have got 1, 2, 3 cards, and their initiative is 7 as well. They keep the initiative because they had it last turn. So let's see what their cards are. We've got Rifleman, Squad Leader, and Fog of War. Fog of War can't do anything because they can't clear it. We've got the Squad Leader, so I'm going to bolster him. I want to bring on again another. I'm going to actually put 2 machine gunners from B in because I want to get that second machine gun on if I can. So that's him done. Then we've got Rifleman A, which is the guy that took control over here. I'm going to get him to start firing at the Americans now. So he's just going to be rolling 1 dice. He's 1 square away. There's no defence, but it's a 4 up. So there's a good chance of him hitting the Americans. 8. So we check the Americans' deck. It's Rifleman A, so there he is. That is Robert Denton has been killed. So let's put his card out of the way. And then we take that off as well. So that was the Germans' turn. So the Americans' turn. They have Fog of War card. Get rid of that. And then a machine gunner. Machine Gunner A. He is actually going to lay down some fire at the Germans. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to try to suppress Rifleman A over here. So I don't want him moving about capturing stuff. No, actually it's better to suppress Rifleman B because Rifleman A has to move somewhere to capture it anyway. So I'm going to do it on B. And if I can hold him in place, I can start machine gunning him as well. So we are 1, 2, 3 away. No defence, but 4. So we need 7 up for a suppression hit. 8, 10, 3 and 3. So he is suppressed. That means the next time we play a Rifleman B card, that will unsuppress him, but it's basically holding him in place for now. So that was a reasonable move, I think. Right, next turn. You see, this game plays pretty quick when you know what you're doing, really, I guess. Once you get an idea of what you want to do. While your opponent is taking their turn, you can think about what you want to do with your cards. Obviously, if you lose cards out of your hand because of them being shot, then that's a different story, but you can plan. So they've got a 3, the Germans, for their initiative. We've got 1, 2 and 3, and a 1 for the Americans' initiative, a Fog of War card. So let's just stick that to one side. So the Germans are pushing it with the initiative here, aren't they? So here we have Rifleman and Machine Gunner. So I'll get rid of their Fog of War card. They've got a Fog of War card as well. Rifleman B is the one who was just suppressed, so let's unsuppress him. He can't do anything else, but then we've got Machine Gunner A as well. So I'm going to start plugging away at the Rifleman A over here, and he's actually going to start attacking him, hitting him. So he's 1, 2, 6, 6 ups are kills, 8 and 8. So yeah, we check their hand for Rifleman A, so there is one of them. So they've already lost 2 out of that squad already. This is what they want to do. They want to try and plug away at those Americans before they get a chance to do anything. Speaking of the Americans, it's their turn. So we've got Scouts B and Squad Leader A. Squad Leader A is going to bolster because I'm losing too many men at this point. So I'm going to put 2 riflemen into their deck, and that's all he's doing. Then Scout B, I'm going to fire at Rifleman A actually with Scout B here. So he's 1 away, so it's 5 up. Let's just see if he hits. That's a 1. No, he's missed. Not a great shot. But next turn, American initiative this time is 6 with a scout. 1, 2, 3. German initiative is 1 with a fog of war. So finally the Americans take hold of the initiative. Let's see if they can do something with this. Oh good, they've got a platoon sergeant, a rifleman and a machine gunner. So what I'm going to do first of all, platoon sergeant is going to play command, draw 2 new cards. So we've got a rifleman B, excellent, and a machine gunner B. So that's good. That's really brought the pain. So I've got 2 riflemen here. So what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to keep pushing him over to here, and then his second action is going to be firing at the German rifleman B. Let's see if we can hit him. So he is 1, 2, 6 away. 6 up as a hit. 1, no, it's a miss. But then I've got machine gunner A and B. B is not on the table yet, so we'll put him on. So that's dealt with that card. And then we've got machine gunner A over here, firing at the German rifleman A. So we've got 1, 2, 6 away. So what I'm trying to do is destroy the German attack before it's even started. 10, so that is a hit on the Germans. So let's check. Rifleman A we're looking for. They have none in their hand. Is there one in their discard pile? The Rifleman B, no. So it's going to have to be from their deck. So we have a look. There he is, Rifleman A. So that is out of the game. And that's the end of the Americans' turn. So the Germans, they have Fog of War, Sergeant and Squad Leader. I'm going to hold on to that Fog of War for a second because the Sergeant is going to command, draw 2 new cards. So we've got a Scout and a Fog of War there. So I'll get rid of him. So the Scout is then going to recon, get rid of the Fog of War card out of their deck. Then we draw a new card. Oh, Fog of War again. But we've got the Squad Leader. He can bolster. He can't inspire because there's nobody to inspire, but he can bolster Squad A, who have been taking damage. So he's going to get. I'm going to put in a rifleman and a machine gunner into there just to give us that extra chance of pulling machine gunners out. So that was the end of that turn. The Americans. Sorry, I nearly turned the cards over. There we've got. That's their 3. We've got to check their initiative. Their deck needs a shuffling. I'll just do that. They'll lose so far they've lost 2 riflemen to 1 German rifleman at this point. Their initiative is 5 with a rifleman. Germans have 1, 2, 3 cards, and their initiative is 7 with a squad leader. So the Germans retake the initiative. What we got here? Riflemen, machine gunners. So we can't do anything. The Fog of War just goes away. We've got Rifleman A and also Machine Gunner B. We haven't got Machine Gunner B on yet, so that is going to be their action to get him on. And then Rifleman A is going to take a few shots at Rifleman A over here for the Americans. So he's 5 up. 4, no, that's a miss. Desultory firing across that canal in a moment. So that's the end of the Germans' turn. So the Americans, we have 2 Fog of War and a Rifleman, so get rid of those Fog of War. We've got a Rifleman, that's this guy here. He is going to fire back at that German rifleman that would just fired at him. Or, I'll tell you what, he's going to go over here actually. I'm going to try to take some of these places instead. If they can get these two as... they can win the game if they get the 6 points. So that's all he's doing. Got to remember to keep your eyes on the prize. Don't get caught in a long range firefight, because it'll just become desultory and no point in it. Let's just have a shuffle of the German cards. So we've got 1, 2 and 3, and then their initiative this turn is a 5. The Americans have got 1, 2, 3. Their initiative is a 1 with a fog of war. So it goes the Germans keep their initiative, and they have squad leader A, rifleman A, and scout B. Where is scout B actually? Well, he's over here, isn't he? Can we do much with him? I'll tell you what. Let's go and knacker up the American plans by going and doing a scout into there. So that stops the Americans from taking that until they've destroyed that scout. But it does give them a fog of war card. That was scout B. Then we've got squad leader A and rifleman. So I'm going to use the rifleman. Oh dear, what do we do here? It's a bit of a tough one. Do I use him to lay down fire on the rifleman here, or move into here to try to control this? Well, we've already got 4 points so far. Well, no we haven't, sorry. We've nearly got 4 points, or we're close to them. Is it worth my while? I'm going to carry on firing at Rifleman A, try and wipe him out, and then move the Rifleman up to that point there. So he is 1, 2 away, 3 for the defence, plus 4, so 7 up. That's an 8, that is a hit. So the Americans, let's check for a Rifleman A in there. They haven't got one, so we check their discard pile for a Rifleman A. There he is. And then I'm going to use their squad leader to do the same again. And fire again. So 1, 2 by inspiring him. So 1, 2, 3, so 7 up. That's an 8 again. So that is another kill. There wasn't one in there. There wasn't a rifleman in there. There wasn't one in there. Is there one in their deck? Machine gunner, scouts, platoon sergeant, scouts, rifleman A. There it is. So just give that a quick shuffle. So we don't know what's coming up. And that was the Germans' turn. So the Americans got squad leader A, squad leader B, and rifleman B. Okay, squad leader A can't do much because he's got no one else. So what I'm going to do with him is bolster a machine gunner and a scout into there. Then we've got squad leader B and the rifleman B. So where's rifleman B? Oh, he's up here. I can't get him to move into there yet until it's been scouted, but we can lay some fire down on the Germans. And he's going to do that on rifleman A. So 1, 2, 4 up. 1, 2, 6 up to hit him. And they're probably going to get the squad leaders to inspire him to fire again. So 6 up first of all. 6 is a hit. So this is rifleman A. Let's just see this. Another one out. And then I'm going to get the squad leader to inspire him to fire again. 6 up. That's a 9. That's another hit. So if there's a rifleman A in there, that's another one. Done pretty well to knock those down. They've killed 3 out of that squad so far, which is pretty good. Okay, the next turn. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 3 for the initiative for the Americans. 1, 2, 3 cards for the Germans, and 5 for their initiative. So the Germans are holding all the cards when it comes to initiative here. But let's see what we got. 2 machine gunners, both A and B, and a fog of war. So let's get rid of that fog of war. So we've got B and A machine gunners. Well, I think the best thing to do would be lay more fire down on rifleman A over here and actually try and kill them. So let's have a look. 1, 2, 3 away, 4, 8 up. I know it's quite dodgy to do it, but machine gunner A, so 8 up. A 4 and a 1, that's a miss. Machine gunner B, 8 up. That's a 3 and a 10, so they've actually hit one. So that's going to kill one of the Americans' rifleman A. Let's just check. Have we got one in this hand? No. We've got one in our discard pile. Rifleman, scout, machine gunner, fog of war, fog of war, fog of war. No. Is there one in the deck? Machine gunner, scout, rifleman A. There we go. I think he's probably the last one. Let's just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. He is the last one standing. So it's over to the Americans though. And they've got a scout, scout A, platoon sergeant, and a machine gunner B as well. Scout A, first of all, is going to move into here to check that out so we can try to get that point. So that takes a fog of war card. So that's him done. Then we've got the platoon sergeant. I'm going to use him to command and get 2 new cards out. So a fog of war and a scout. So I'll put him to one side, and I'm going to use scout B to get rid of that fog of war card with a recon. Put that up there, and then they draw a new card. That's 2 machine gunners. So they've already been plugging away at rifleman A, so they're going to carry on with that, I think. So that's 1, 2. So that's 6 in total, and both of them are firing for effect. So 6 up. So first one is a hit. That's German rifleman A. So let's just see if we can. We've got one in our deck. No. See if there's, sorry, in the discard pile is the one in the deck. Where is he? No, they haven't got one. So there's 2 out, 3 killed. So that takes that off. So the Germans are going to have to bolster to get somebody in. And then the second machine gunner is then going to fire. That was the first one, A. They're both in the same square. Second one is B. He's going to fire at rifleman B. So 1, 2, 3, 7 up. This time, firing for effect as well. So double 5. So that is a miss for them, unfortunately. Okay, our next turn. In the previous game I played of this, all of the riflemen were taken out by both sides, and as I said, the Germans won it just by pipping the Americans with the amount of points they'd captured. But it's so, you know, it seems like it's going to be a really simple start to the game when you're close to all these points, but it's actually quite a tough one, this one. Germans' initiative is 1. The Americans' initiative is 5, so the Americans actually get initiative back this time. So let's just see what they do with that. A fog of war card, squad leader and a machine gun. It's squad leader a B and a machine gunner A, unfortunately. So fog of war, go away. Squad leader, he will bolster. So I'll bring in a rifleman and also bring in a machine gunner as well, just to try and get our numbers up. And then we've got the machine gunner A. I'm going to keep firing at rifleman B, I think. If we can get rid of the rifleman, that's a pretty good move. So we are 1, 2, 3 away, plus his defense of 4, so that's a 7 up. 7 and a 6, so that is a kill on the German rifleman B. Let's see if there's one in their hand. No. One in the discard pile. I think there might be. I'm sure I saw one before. Yeah, there we are. So that's out. He's dead. And that was the machine gunner. So the Germans, they've got a scout, squad leader and fog of war. They are going to get rid of that fog of war with the scout. So take that out of the game and then draw a new card. So they've got machine gunner and squad leader B. Squad leader B can't do inspire, so I'm going to get him to bolster the rifleman B because I don't want him to take any more hits. So that's 2. And then we've got machine gunner A as well. Question is, should we fire again at German rifleman A, I think? Well, actually no, rifleman B is probably more of a threat now, isn't he? Because he's closing in on that up there, whereas at least we've got the rifleman stopped here. So I'm going to fire up here. So 1, 2, 3 away, no defence, so 7 up. It's a hit on rifleman B, and I'm not firing to kill, not to suppress. 7 and 8 is a hit. That's rifleman B, we said. So squad leader B, machine gunner B, rifleman B. There's another one. So that's the first casualty from B. That ends that turn. So then we next come on to the next turn. The Americans have got a 1 for their fog of war. The Germans have got 1, 2, 3, and a 1 for their fog of war. So the Americans retain the initiative with a machine gunner from A and B, and a fog of war. So we'll get rid of that fog of war, can't do anything with it, but we can do something with these machine gunners. And is it time now to... yeah, I'm going to start firing at this scout, because if I can get rid of the scouts, they can then take this, and then also hopefully take that points up there as well. So gunner A is going to fire at scouts. He's a 5 plus 1 plus distance of 1, so that's 7 up in total. So first one is an 8, is a hit, so that's German scout B. The scouts are very light. I can notice there's only 2 scouts in the pile over there, so a couple of hits and that might remove them. Let's have a look. Let's find them. There he is, scout B. The Germans are then going to have to bolster. That's unfortunately for them. So that was this machine gunner A, then machine gunner B, doing the same again. 7 up, 10 and 5, yes. So that is a hit again. So this time there's no other scouts there, so that's cleared scout B off, at least, the Americans. The Germans for this turn, they've got platoon sergeant and a machine gunner and fog of war. Let's just keep that fog of war in there for a second, because I can't remember if they've got any scout A's in here. Well, they should have, because what I'm going to do with the platoon sergeant is pull in. I'm going to command, I think, or is it better to actually bolster and get some scouts back on? Yeah, he's going to bolster and draw 2 scouts in, and then he's got another one, so I'm going to bring in a machine gunner from B as well. So we ignore that fog of war. But then we've got machine gunner B is going to take some shots at rifleman B up here, I think, the Americans. So we've got 1, 2, 3, plus 4 is 7 up to hit. So let's roll those, and he's attacking. It's a 10 and a 2, so that's a hit. So we'll find rifleman B out of here, if we've got any. There should be one somewhere in here, I think. Rifleman B, there you go, there he is. So they're going to have to start bringing some of those in. That was the end of that German turn. So we're on to the next turn. And the American initiative being 6. 1, 2, 3, and squad leader initiative, so that's 7. So the Germans retain, they pull the initiative back to them. And let's see what we got here. Scout, rifleman, and fog of war. Right, the scout is going to get rid of that fog of war card, and then we draw a new card. Oh, it's another fog of war card anyway. I can't do anything with that, so that'll just go into the discard pile. And then we've got rifleman B. So he is actually going to control. I'm going to start trying to take control of some of these places, because he's just been sat there doing nothing otherwise. And it's more important to get the points. Over here we've got scouts A and B for the Americans. So scout A is quite far away, so I'm going to use him to get rid of that fog of war card. So then we draw a new one for him. That's a platoon sergeant, that's good. So he is actually going to command and draw 2 new cards. So well, that's a pretty good number we got here. So that's a platoon sergeant, he's done. He commanded. So we've got scout B, machine gunner A, and also squad leader A as well. So what I think I might do here, I'm going to pour all my fire into these scouts, these German scouts down here, and try and get these off the table now. So scout B, first of all, attacking. He needs a 5 or above because they're in the same square. So an 8, so that's hit. So this is German scouts A. So we go, let's see if there's one of them. Unfortunately for the Germans, there's 2 of them are actually out of still in their supply, so they might get whacked here. So that was scout B done. Then machine gunner A is going to fire, and he's firing at 1, range 2, no defence but 5, so that's a 7 up. Let's have a look. That is a Cox dice, so I'm just going to roll that again. 7. That's a hit and a kill. I believe there should be no Scout A's anywhere in here now, so let me just double check. Scout B, Scout B. Check the German's deck. Squad Leader A, Rifleman, Fog of War, Machine Gun, Machine Gun, Machine Gunner. No, there isn't, so that takes off that Scout marker for now. So that means that is now ripe to be exploited, and then I'm going to use Squad Leader A to inspire the Machine Gunner, who is then going to fire at Rifleman B over there. So this time it's 1, 2, 3 away, so 7 up as well for him. 6 and a 9, so that's a hit as well. Rifleman B, there's 1, so take that out. Oh dear, it's not looking good for the Germans, is it? The Americans are definitely holding off on this one. Alright, that was that turn. So yes, this is a really nice little scenario. It's really well designed, just from the start of it. You know, you look like it might just be a walkover for either side. Both sides look as though they could just basically walk into these points. But anyway, we are on 3 initiative for the Americans. 1, 2, 3, and 3 initiative for the Germans. The Germans had initiative last turn, so they retain it. So they're going first. Okay, we've got 2 machine gunners and Rifleman B. As I say, eyes on the prize. Rifleman B is going to go for that. So that's just his move. So I need to get that. I need to get some of these markers captured. But then we've got the 2 machine gunners. So they are going to blast Rifleman A over here, I think, with the American. No, we forgot about him. Rifleman B up here, haven't we? Well, alternatively, I don't know. Do we? I'm going to go for Rifleman A because I think there's only a few of them left. Actually, there's probably only a couple left, so I'm going to go for him first of all. So 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 4 is 8 up. This is the first one. 8 up. That's a hit. Now let me check. I don't think there's any more Rifleman A's left. It's machine gunners, sergeant, and what have you. Let's just have a look. Scout, machine gunner, scout, squad leader, machine gunner, scout, squad leader. No, so they've destroyed that section, or that group. So that was the first machine gunner. The second one now is firing at Rifleman B. 1, 2, 3 away with a defense of 4, so that takes him up to 7 up. Shooting to kill, so that is another hit. That was a 10, so we check for these. We've got Rifleman B, there's 1 in hand, so he comes out. Oh, could the Germans even win on points here? Who knows? It could go either way at this point. Anyway, it's the Americans' turn. I don't want to jinx it just yet. We need to bolster, I think, so I'm going to bring in Riflemen and the machine gunners for the Americans with our guy, whereas the machine gunner is going to lay down fire on the German Rifleman over here, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4 away, plus 4, so it's 8 up, and he is firing to kill. 4 and 4, no chance. Probably should have tried to suppress him, really, just to stop him capturing that point. 1, 2, 3. American initiative is 7. 1, 2, 3 for the Germans. Let's just shuffle those up. There's plenty of losses so far on both sides. It could really go any way at this point, I think. German initiative is a 3, so the Americans get the initiative. Let's see if they can keep plugging away at those Germans. So we've got scout, squad leader, and a machine gunner. So the scout can't really do a huge amount, but he can fire at the German riflemen again, just to destroy their riflemen, if nothing else. We've got squad leader B, so he can get him to fire twice at least, and then with the machine gunner as well. And then I can turn my attention towards the German machine gunners at least, and then that will clear everything off. So I'm going to try to take out the riflemen because they're most dangerous. So the scout, 1, 2, 3 away, 4 becomes a 7, and I'll probably use the squad leader to inspire him. See what happens. Let's have a look. 5, no. So he's going to fire again with the squad leader. 6, no. So we're going to use machine gunner A. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 8 up. 10 and a 1. So he's hit and killed 1. So it's rifleman B. We don't have one in there. There isn't one in there. And let's have a look. Let's go all the way through. Rifleman B, there he is. He's out. So I need to shuffle that deck, don't I? Give that a quick shuffle up. Right. And then that's the end of the Americans' turn. So over to the Germans. Squad leader, fog of war, fog of war. Squad leader A can only bolster at this point, so I'm going to bring on 2 riflemen because I need to get that rifleman thing back on. So we're now back over to the initiative phase. So the Americans have got 1, 2, 3. The Germans have got 3, so it goes back to the Germans this time. Let's see what they can do with theirs. Okay, they've got 2 scouts and machine gunner, and it's all B. Scout B, so at least they can bring the scouts on there, and then use their second scout to... The Americans haven't had many scout casualties yet, and I don't like this one being here, so I'm going to shoot him. So 1, 2 away, 5, so that becomes a 7 up. 2, it's a miss, and then I'm going to do the same with the machine gunner, firing at the same target, so 7 up, 9 and a 2. If I can get rid of this scout, you see, it's just taking him out of my mind. Scout A, but no, he's not in there. Is he in there? Discard pile. Scout B, there he is. Get him out. And that's the Germans' turn. So over to the Americans. And they've got 2 Scout A's and Machine Gunner A. So their Scout A is up there. He's going to plug away the rifleman. So we've got 1, 2 away, 6 defence on the rifleman, and both of these are going to fire at that. The German rifleman. Well, first one. Let's see what happens. 6 up is a hit. So German rifleman B. Let's see if we've got any in here. Can't remember how many have been killed. Any in their deck? Squad leader. No, there isn't. So that has actually removed their rifleman. The Americans have still got a rifleman on the table, so they're not. The game isn't over just yet. But that was the first scout. Second scout, Scout A, will fire at the German Scout B. So 1, 2, 3 away. So 5 becomes an 8 up. 8, that's a hit. This is on German Scout B. There he is. Another one out. And then they've got their machine gunner, who will also fire at Scout B as well. I'm just trying to concentrate fire now. 1, 2, 3 away. So that becomes a 5, becomes an 8. 8 and 8. Yes, that's hit another Scout B. The Scouts are quite light units, there's only 3 men in them, so you only need a couple of hits really to really floor them. Okay, that was that turn. This is on a knife edge, isn't it, really? Let's have a look. The Americans have got their 3 cards. Let's give this deck a shuffle. I can't remember if I shuffled that German deck before after I check through it. So I'm going to now anyway. So that's a 6. The Americans' initiative. I'm just going to give this a shuffle. I can't remember if I did. 1, 2, 3, and they have a fog of war, so the Americans get the initiative this turn. So their cards, 2 fog of war and a machine gunner B. So we'll get rid of the fog of war cards. And the machine gunner B, he is going to lay down fire on that scout. If I can kill as many of these units as possible, that's the idea. So 1, 2, 3 away, so 5 becomes an 8. I know the machine gunners are normally more dangerous, but I've already hit the scouts quite a lot anyway. So I just want to see if I can take them out, because it's one less thing to think about and to deal with, because they can still fire. So there's none in there. Is there one in the deck? No, there isn't. There's none left anywhere else, so that is them out, and they are killed. So that's 1 unit down from the American point of view. Anyway, Germans, machine gunner A, squad leader B, and the platoon sergeant. Platoon sergeant is going to command, so I want to get 2 more cards out. Fog of War, brilliant, and a machine gunner B. A couple of machine guns at least. And ooh, machine gunner can inspire, so sorry, the squad leader can inspire the machine gunners. So we're going to now direct all our fire against Rifleman 4. If we can get him off the table, the turn is over, and then we'll have to see who's won from how many points we've collected, and that might, I don't know if it were the Germans at this point, might be about the same. We'll see. I just want to try and get rid of them. So machine gunner B first of all, so 1, 2, 3 away. He's got 4 defence, so 7 up. 6 and 6 is a miss, so then I'm going to use inspire. 10, so that is a hit. Just get those out of the way so I know. So this is on Rifleman B. Is he in there? No, he's not. I'm feeling that they are all out. Just have a look. No, Rifleman B, there we are. Still holding on with grim determination. So we've got one more shot from the machine gunner. 8 up again. 1, 2, 3. No, 7 up. Sorry. 9 and a 5. That's a hit. So let me just check through again, just to make sure there are no. Oh no, there's still another one. They're everywhere. So they're just holding on. But that was the German turn. Right, now a next turn. This one is, I keep saying it could be, it's a knife edge. It could go any way at this point, couldn't it? We need to get some of these American riflemen moving and just capturing some of these points at this point, I think, just to be able to win. So let's have a look. Got 1, 2, 3 for the Germans. Their initiative is a platoon sergeant, so that's a 9. 1, 2, 3. The American initiative is 6 for their scout. So the Germans get the initiative. So we've got 2 fog of war and a machine gunner. Machine gunner is going to try and take out this guy again, so 7 up on 2 dice. Oh, look. 2 and an 8. That has hit him. I'm fairly certain there can't be any more riflemen now. No, there's machine gunners and squads in there. There's none in the discard pile in their deck. Let's just check. No. So that has taken that out, and that means everybody is pinned. So that ends the game immediately. And that means that what we do now is we add up how many points they've captured, and that is the winner. So in this case we've got Americans have got 2 here, and the Germans have only got 2 here as well, so it's actually a draw, which is interesting. I think there might be an extra rule for drawing, I can't remember, let me just check. In the case of a tie, the player with the initiative marker wins. That was the Germans, so they literally won that on a technicality. But that was a fantastic little scenario. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed playing it. I enjoyed it the second time round as much as the first time round. As I say, basically it looks as though the Germans can just, you know, waltz in and get all their points, and it also looks a little bit like the Americans can, but you could see how hard it was. Is there anything I would have done differently? It's hard to say really. They're kind of, you put your base of fire down and then you're trying to get your infantry to move out to capture these places. Could the Germans done it quicker? Possibly. It all depends on the cards. I mean, I guess one thing they could have done is really thinned out, once the scouts had been out and scouted this area, they could have just thinned out their deck for the riflemen to be moving out to capture those places. That's possibly one thing they could have done. But anyway, another great game of Undaunted Normandy. I'll put a link in the description for an affiliate link if you're interested in buying this game. It's relatively cheap. It's worthwhile. It's good fun, as you can see. Great even a solo as well as playing against somebody. If you enjoyed the video and you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to the video to the channel. Drop me a comment, say hello, hit the like button or the dislike button if you didn't like it, and do check me out on Patreon and also on Ko-fi as well. And I shall thank you again for watching.